Well, hey there, YouTube. I've been following a high raw vegan diet for close to 10 years now, and I've seen a lot of people come and go. And hey, nobody's perfect at this, me included. But today I want to share with you what I consider the top 3 reasons why people fail on a raw vegan diet and what I actually mean by the term fail. So if you're not already subscribed to the channel, I'd love it if you'd go down and hit that subscribe button now. Then click on the little bell and check send notifications so you will stay subscribed to the channel. Since I've been doing these videos, I just keep doing them the same over and over and over and over. They're not sexy. They're not all exciting. I just like to keep reinforcing and stressing the basics because the basics have worked for me, and I don't think anything else would have worked for me, all this jumping around and this and that. But my number one reason, and if you've watched my channel before, this probably won't come as any shock to you, most people fail on this lifestyle simply because they don't eat enough. They come into eating like this with that diet mentality in their head. And anytime you think about losing weight or getting healthy, although so many people come into doing this for the weight loss thing or for some sort of aesthetic reason. But I always say, whether you've got weight to lose and maybe you don't have any health conditions or whatever, always focus on your health. And getting back to the way we've always kind of been taught about diets always mean restrictions. Diet always mean, discipline and having that discipline to push away from the table or just not eat anymore. And that is just not how it needs to be or how it should be on a raw vegan diet. As I'll say over and over and over again, until you're sick of it, which you probably are, I have never been hungry in 10 years unless, maybe I get called out somewhere and I can't get to some food for maybe an hour or something. But I eat and I eat some more and I eat some more. I don't eat little portions. I just had my breakfast a little while ago. My first meal of the day, probably, I don't know, I've used probably 7 or 8 bananas in there, packed with kale, had some chia seeds in there. I go big, and I'll probably eat again within another couple of hours. So you've got to eat plenty on this lifestyle for 2 different reasons. One is just because you're not going to get through it. You're not going to succeed at this white knuckling it or always being hungry, because if you're always consistently hungry, that's just chipping away at you, time's ticking away, until you just you can't take it anymore, and then you generally overcorrect and eat way too much of something, or even eat some things that you really know you shouldn't eat. Maybe they're not even plant-based anymore. And another reason that's one of the main reasons people fail on a raw vegan diet is also, it's twofold. If you're not eating enough, you are not going to get the nutrients that we need to get. You have to eat the amount of calories that it takes for your body size and for your physical activity. So get this out of your head. If you're hungry on this lifestyle, you need to scrap it. You need to do something new, because you don't ever need to be hungry on this lifestyle. In fact, for probably 7 out of 10 people that I see eating, I would say eat more. Number 2 would be kind of leading in from that, but not getting all the nutrition you need if you're not eating enough food, is people don't focus on nutrition. They focus on all kind of things. They'll do gimmicky things like under eating or restricting themselves or living on constant cleanses and fasts to lose weight or to clear up their skin, which all of these are good things, but those things really are the byproduct of a healthy overall system. So when you kind of just do whatever to lose weight, or you take little shortcuts, or you do this or that, or you're just so focused on the raw part of it that you consider any bite of cooked food a failing, that you don't make the good decisions based on nutrition. You've got to feed your body what it needs. It's not just enough to eat enough calories, but you need to be getting certain things. That's why I always talk about the variety as well. Getting a lot of variety in there, and it just feeds the overall system of making our system better. If another one I repeat over and over and over is Read Fiber Fueled by Dr. Bulsiewicz. Never know how to say that one. It's all about the gut biome, and that has just really opened my eyes to kind of a different way of thinking about my immune system and my overall health over the last two or 3 years. So it's always going to be about nutrition. And, like I say, you can get your nutrition being 100% raw, but don't sacrifice nutrition just to be 100% raw, because I see a lot of bad examples of doing raw out there, a lot of bad combinations, it being way too high fat, just in the whole effort of being raw. And yes, sometimes people will say, well, you ate this or this, and that isn't that kind of high fat. Yes, but that's not, you can't look at what somebody's doing by one meal. Yeah, I'll mix almond butter or natural peanut butter in with my nice cream from time to time, but I'm factoring that in throughout the day. If I do something like that, then I'm not having any fat in my salad dressing for the day, or I'm not having any, not much of the omega-6 fat in there. But it's always kind of a balancing act like that. But you've got to focus on the nutrition. That's what this thing's about. Like I say, if you make this vessel that we are going through life in as strong and as healthy as possible, it might take you a while. Maybe the system has to correct itself and get in balance before you lose all the weight, or your skin clears, or your digestion gets perfect. But if you really focus on the health above all else, all those other things will fall into line with it. The number 3 reason I would say, and this is kind of a little bit different than what some people talk about, or maybe what I've talked about in the past, is a lack of patience. People jump from one thing, there's so much information out there here on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, on all these different social media platforms and all these different resources. And generally, humans, we're a very impatient species. We want what we want now, especially in the year 2022. We're an instant society. We want what we want when we want. We push a button, we buy something. We're just used to instantaneous. So a lot of times people just don't have the patience, and they don't realize, especially if you've abused your body like a lot of us have, 30-year drunk here that used to actually cook barbecue, ate like crap, whatever. So it's going to take a while to undo some of this stuff. Now you can listen, most people will see some results from the very beginning. You'll start feeling better, your head will clear up, your skin will start clearing up. But it's not going to be instantaneous, and it's slower for some people than others. And so many people just jump, as soon as something doesn't work. I've seen this, and it almost, I've learned, like, once somebody makes their decision, there's no use trying to jump in and argue with them. But I see it all the time. And like I say, going back to the people that think they're failing if they're not fully wrong, that gets into their head. I think they're doing very well. And then they jump to something else. And I'm like, well, you've only been doing this 2 or 3 or 4 weeks. That's nothing. It takes a little bit longer for some people. And for hardly anybody's just going to be instantaneous like that. So stop having such lack of patience and stick with something. You make changes. Like, I've changed through 10 years. I mean, I can't imagine if I was eating the same way I did in year 1 or in year 2 or in year 3. But it's been more of a progression down the road with tweaks, adjustments, and changes. I haven't been going, it's not like if you're going down a straight road, I don't sway way over here and then come back here and then go way over there. It's like, just kind of honing towards where I've gotten today and what makes me feel good, and my digestion's good, my energy's good. But also too, and this will be a little bonus one, on the kind of like a little excerpt to lack of patience, is the opposite of that. And getting so enamored with some YouTube star or somebody you found on Instagram that's your person, that you stick with them no matter what. I've seen this. We've seen some of these huge stars. In fact, some of the hugest stars out there, like, I think of something like 5 or 6 of the biggest accounts that I've known of in the raw vegan world since I've been doing this on YouTube and in Instagram. I wouldn't send anybody to them. They're nice enough people, and I'm not throwing shade, but it's just like there's no real nutrition there. They're a brand. They're money making machines, and they're very smart at what they do. And I can see all the little things in there, but there's no nutrition in there. And they get so popular, and some of these hundreds of thousands of followers, that they become like a celebrity. And then as soon as what they do, and then that's where I just like would have no respect for, like, listen, if I ever come on this channel and say I'm no longer vegan, I'm eating this or that, I'm eating meat 24/7, I would expect you to leave me. I wouldn't expect you to say, oh, well, we're just going to follow him, what he's doing now. And a lot of people will do that. They will stick with some YouTube sensation or whatever that's kind of leading them down a bad path just because they've got a lot of people following them. The numbers don't really mean anything, not to me anyway. Like I say, two of the strongest resources that I think on this raw vegan lifestyle are Lissa's Raw Food Romance and The Raw Advantage by Chris Kendall. Now, Lissa has a good following on Instagram. She's got a good following on here, but she's not up in that next level. And to be honest, she's way more knowledge, way more stuff to give than so many of those big accounts. So like I say, that'll be what we'll finish with there. Like, just, be careful where you take your information from, and always be your own advocate. Verify everything, research everything that everybody says, and make sure that it makes sense to you. And if it doesn't make sense to you, you discard it. But anyhow, just my 2 cents on this. Hope you guys enjoyed this video today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up. And I'll probably see you. I didn't get a video in yesterday, so I'll probably do one this weekend. Peace.